Hi folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode, The Authority, role-playing game and resource book. I have kind of a policy that I don't like to review a lot of very hard to find out-of-print stuff out there because I don't want you saying, oh wow, that's really neat, and scrabbling around for it. This is going to be an exception to that rule. I have a couple more coming up in a few episodes. This one is really kind of neat because if you've ever read the comic book The Authority, you know what it's about. If you haven't, let me give you a brief summary. It's like the Justice League, but through a very, very dark and cracked mirror. There are analogs for a lot of the Justice League characters, from Green Lantern to Batman and Superman, but it really puts a very dark spin on it. In my opinion, the Authority are good guys, kinda. They have their moments where they're really good or they're really bad, but overall their goals and their objectives are good. The only problem with it is they kind of have to wake themselves up from their own vices in order to go out and save the world. But this isn't about the comic book line specifically. This is about a Supers game specifically made for the Authority setting. This is not an easy game to learn. I have never found TriStat to be as rules light in character creation or implementation as they like to say that it is. I find it to be very hard to follow. I find character creation to be really difficult unless you know this system inside and out. And if the system works for you, this is good. This could really very easily be a companion piece for Silver Age Sentinels, which was their main line Supers book. This was Guardians of Order. They made the TriStat system. Their mainline Supers book. This is really scaled up another notch. In terms of game system, it's TriStat. It's TriStat D12 usually. You're dealing with really, really powerful Supers level characters. What I like about this book isn't necessarily the engine, and the universe is nice, but I never find myself strictly adhering to the universe in any Supers game. I like the fact that it really gives you some background on what a very powerful Supers group should do. These are not your people who stop a bank robbery every week. These are not your people who help the little old lady get her cat out of the tree. These are your people who stop cosmic level threats, massive alien invasions. These are people who deal with interdimensional incursions and the best way to stop them. And they also, what's different about the Authority is the original authors of this took the point of view of Supers have the power to change the world. Why don't they more often? What stops them from actually getting in there, going up to an Earth-based government and saying, no, you can't do this anymore. If you do, we will burn your country down. The book also gives you ideas for how to implement that. What is the game system like? I know I've dissed it a little bit here, but what's it like? Basically, it is a create your own power from the ground up. You can add all the modifiers and attributes, including range, number of people it affects, etc., and you get a final value. You roll your dice, see how you succeed based on the value you need. It works, it's just really cumbersome for me. Where this book really succeeds is as a resource book and an idea for a next generation how to really kick their butt Supers game. That's why I like The Authority. Am I ever going to play an Authority game as written? Probably not. Not with TriStat, not with really any other of my favorite Supers games, but it does give me a lot of ideas for what the really powerful groups should do and should be able to do. And let me tell you folks, they ain't super friends, okay? So, The Authority role-playing game and resource book, you should still be able to find this at most friendly local game stores and online vendors. Guardians of Order is defunct at this time, which is kind of sad because I thought they actually put out some pretty good material. They did really good research, in my opinion, on how to put their books together. Get this, if you want a really powerful Supers game, whether or not you like TriStat, there is some good stuff in here for you. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.